volume is the secret language of youth. Think about it. Plump lips, defined cheekbones, smooth under eyes. It's all about strategic placement of the fillers in exactly the right place. With me to discuss that is Dr. Maureen, founder of Skin Renewal, Clicks Beauty Squad member TK, and Elisme Ferreira from Catrice to share their insights on the latest filler trends. Looking plump. Girls, we all want to look plumper. Dr. Maureen, how do we do that? When we think of fillers, we think of that overdone look from Hollywood, but that's changed. How has it changed?
Yes, no, absolutely. Thank goodness that's gone, because look, you still get your occasional person who comes in with these overdone cheeks, the overdone lips, so they look like caricatures, of themselves. But fortunately, it's all changed, and that happened about 10 years ago. So when I started, doing fillers, I'm talking 25 years ago, we were chasing wrinkles, we were chasing nasolabial folds, we were chasing the barcodes on the lips, we were chasing wrinkles on the face. But about 2015, it all changed when we realized that there are foundational codes that you need to inject, and you don't have, they're not superficial. And also the development of all these new technology fillers, which you're going to have one that goes deep on the bone, you have the other one that goes in the subcutaneous, and then you have the finesse fillers that, goes into the dermis. So it's all about restructuring the face. And as you get older, you lose collagen,
bone
and
density.
That's your support bra of your face. You lose your deep fat pads, you lose, and you also lose bone. And everything sinks and sags. It's almost like you've lost the shoulder pads of your hanger. And like when you use the shoulders, all the clothes swoop to the middle. And that's exactly what happens, and that's what we try to address.
I completely can relate and understand. I think about myself as a brown girlie. For the longest time, we never spoke about this. It's a little bit of a taboo in our community. And I could say that, 5 years ago, I explored, the space of filler and Botox and all the exciting things that it entails. And it was nice to feel educated that, it's not that intense. It can be done subtly, can be done to achieve that youthful glow, that healthy firming, versus the circa 1995 Drew Barrymore big apple cheeks. It was time, eh? It was a scary time.
No, absolutely. Because your face is all about shadows and folds. So, and recreating the light reflex, because your cheeks drop, so your light reflex drops, and then you look tired and haggard. So by replacing that lost volume, you lift your cheeks up, and you'll find that your light reflex is back where it belongs. So that's exactly what we're doing, not overfilling the faces.
Not overfilling anymore,
No.
very subtle, very natural, less is more, a longer journey.
You do it slowly.
Slowly.
You don't
love that.
Yeah, you don't come and do 10, 12 fillers at a time, because then you're going to look different. So you do 1 or 2, and you slowly, over time, slowly build it up.
And you also watch how your body responds to the filler as well. So you do a little bit so you can see where it actually ends up. Because it takes a minute also to go and land where it needs to be and to set where it needs to be.
Yes, and filler is a sponge. It draws 1,000 times its water. Wow. So you put it in, you see a result, and then the body slowly starts pulling water into those fillers. And that's what actually gives the pillow face. When you start, especially in the mid-face, when you re-inject and re-inject and re-inject, and you're not looking at the integrity of the skin, and eventually the skin can't cope anymore. And that's when you get that puffy face, or you get puffy eyes, or you can't even open your eyes. I've had a patient who went elsewhere, and she couldn't even open her eyes from all the fillers she had in the mid-face.
No, definitely less is more. That is the look now. Elisme, if you're not quite ready for fillers, what makeup techniques can you use to make the face look more lifted and plump?
Well, to be quite honest, I haven't done any fillers, and I probably will eventually, but I'm not planning to anytime soon. But I really do like using makeup to create the illusion of a more lifted look. I do agree that less is more, using light textures, sheer textures, glowy, strategic placement with concealers, contouring, highlighting. So there's lots of ways that you can create the illusion of a lifted look.
And it's
without
all about
using
the
too much
technique. It's all
product.
about the application.
Yes.
Again, less is more. You can build on your makeup. Again, you need to learn where to place your makeup. Your concealer can now lift your face,
Exactly.
and the way we contour is different. You don't contour down toward your mouth anymore. You contour from your ear to your nose, and that gives you that lifted effect, right?
Absolutely.
And what are your
yes.
favorite products for making your face look fuller?
Well, I would definitely start with concealer, perhaps 2 shades lighter. Obviously, your more advanced makeup enthusiasts would use 2 to 3 shades lighter and darker. But I would say if you really want to create a more youthful look, I would focus more on using shades lighter versus using shades too dark. And instead of applying too much product, for example, with your concealer, you would do in the inner corner and then upwards towards the hairline. You can just blend it beautifully in like that. Also, your blush placement a little bit higher onto the cheek, definitely a little bit of highlighter. There's so many different ways that you can actually play with makeup to create the illusion of a more youthful look.
I think it's a combination of everything. Dr. Maureen, what is a good age to start thinking about filler? I mean, Elizabeth is saying she hasn't used any yet. But what is a good? I mean, I think for TK and I, we only started that later. For me, it was in my 40s. But I almost wish I started a bit earlier, actually, because it's so subtle nowadays.
20 years ago, we're injecting nasolabial folds, but that is a sign of a symptom. The symptom is that you're losing those deep fat pads, you're losing bone, and as I said, everything's falling in. So what we do is we start lifting and separating, you know, like that crush your heart bra, support bra from years back. I think I'm showing my age here. So lift and separate. That's exactly what we do. Lift the cheeks, separate the face, and pull it outwards, pull it laterally. You know, so the more you put in the middle of the face, that's the danger area of the face. That's where you get the puffiness. So rather start laterally and lift it laterally, whether it's the cheekbone, whether it's the jawbone, and even doing the chin. You have no idea that the chin actually sets the whole story. It's running the show. I mean, I don't know if you've seen those Instagram reels where they've taken these beautiful women, you know, the prototype of beauty, and given them a weak chin. And what a difference it makes to their face, you know, recessing the chin back.
Makes a massive difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what it's
I've
all
got chin
about.
filler.
Do you?
Yeah,
I also did. I actually don't have a little bit now, Dr. Maureen. I have to come see you soon for that. But I have in the past. It makes
Yeah.
such a big
Yes, it
difference.
also like intensifies your jawline as well.
Intensifies your
intensifies
jawline,
the
which is
whole-
where
it's a
you show your aging for me first. And
It's
it's
the
so important
jawline.
to have a strong jawline. How often do you need fillers, Dr. Maureen?
Look, fillers, you know, last a long time, 12 to 18 months. But after 18 months, not 100% is gone. And, you know, they've done those MRIs on patients who've had fillers 10 years ago, and they still see filler there. I mean, I once went for an ultrasound of my thyroid. Ladies, go do an ultrasound of your thyroid. And I said to him, can you see my fillers along the jawline? And he said, yes, I can see something funny there that shouldn't be there. See, so it slowly breaks down over time. Also, depending on your health and how active you are, you know, the condition of your health, and you'll find
That's the
that
problem with me. I exercise a lot, so
You
I
see-
find that my treatments. But now, one of your doctors actually told me to drink zinc to make my
that's
Botox
for the
last longer.
botulinum, yeah, to make,
Yes.
because you need, you know, zinc for it's the spark plug for that botulinum to take. So if you've got low zinc, you know, it doesn't take as well, and your botulinum might not last that
I
long.
learned something today.
I know.
But
isn't
you
it
need zinc for
interesting?
everything. You need zinc for skin healing. You need zinc for your immune system.
Wow.
You need zinc to make stomach acid. And you need stomach acid to absorb all your minerals and vitamins that you need for your skin. So,
Now, a lot of people are still very scared of fillers. And I mean, I don't blame them. I used to be back in the day myself. So I think the important thing is to see the specialists. I mean, TK, you and I are really like veterans in the industry now. So we understand what's in it, and that it's not, you know, people think it's poison that I'm putting in my face. And if you educate yourself, that you know that that's not true. But what if something goes wrong? Can you reverse it?
look, the normal hyaluronic acid, yes, you can. And it normally reverses between 6 hours to 24 hours. But some of these new hybrid fillers, where it's filler combined with something else, you cannot reverse that. So the normal hyaluronic acid, yes, you can reverse it. And that's the beauty about that, you know, because there are danger areas on the face. And that's why it's so important to go to someone who's been trained on all these danger areas. Because most of the problems occur if it's wrong place, wrong plane.
For me, like your esthetician is like your gynae or your
Yes,
your
very
optometrist.
important,
You have
doctor,
a
very important.
relationship with that person, and you walk the journey with them. So I
It's
totally
a
agree.
journey, TK, you're quite right. You know, you come in, you get a proper assessment, you know, whether it's, if you've got a skin condition, whether it's any underlying health condition. Then we start looking at your injectables. We explain how it works. We tell you, you know, you've got to come maybe 2-3 times a year to prevent those wrinkles, for those dynamic wrinkles, and that's the difference. So fillers treat more static wrinkles and volume loss, and botulinum treats wrinkles that move.
TK, just quickly, I wanted to ask you why. You said earlier it's like a taboo subject.
Yeah.
In the brown community. Why?
I just think that there is just so little information about it. I think that maybe because people with more melanin in their skin only start showing signs of aging maybe a little bit later. And so there's almost like suddenly awakening when you're in your 30s. And maybe that delay has caused that, you know, there's no need for it now. But thank goodness that we are having such comfortable, open, safe conversation about it. Because for me personally, it's all about aging positively. You know, there's a way in which you could gracefully age, but we can do it positively with all the amazing medical
Absolutely,
advances.
yes, I find melanin skin, but you know, melanated skin, they don't get the wrinkles, but they still get sagging. And even though they've got a higher SPF than, you know, like a very light-skinned person, if you don't wear your sunblock, you will still get that, you know, that intrinsic aging down the line. You will still get the volume loss in your cheeks. It's just part of aging.
Yeah, so good for you for helping us.
But lifestyle is so important, and you know, that's what our foundation is built on, and all our treatments is lifestyle. But I was attending a congress in Paris earlier, you know, in January this year, seems like the other day, and one of these professors from Harvard was saying that lifestyle is so important, but if you look at these people who live in the blue zones and live till 100, they still look 100.
Well, Elizabeth, have you learned something today about the injectables?
I definitely have. I must be honest with you, I was always frightened about fillers, but I think it's like you said, Cindy, it's so much softer now, and it's not like in the old days. Less is more. It is definitely something that I would consider. I also just think women should really, also when it comes to using makeup, they should really focus on rather bringing out their best attributes and their features instead of drawing attention or trying to take away what they don't like.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, like a lot of the young patients come in and they want to do their lips, but if you look, they actually got no chin, or they, you know, their lips are totally overpowering their chin. That's in the darker melanated patients. So by reshaping the chin, you have no idea how much definition it gives to a jawline called a snatch jawline, double chin. So, you know, so you don't over-exaggerate, especially if you've got no chin. You don't, you know, over-exaggerate the lips. You first fix the proportions of the face. Because we're all beautiful, but we all need a little help somewhere to make us even prettier. It's amazing what fillers can do. That's exactly what they do.
And that is what fillers is all about now. It's just about enhancing your natural look, using makeup to highlight your natural look, techniques to bring out your strongest features, and as TK said, keeping it slow, keeping it natural, and bringing out the best in you.